Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk, and we're back after a few weeks away. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing fine. I'm drinking my espresso and ice cream.
Espresso and ice cream. That's how very Italian of you. Spencer will be back next week for the viewers, so he's had as life goes. Right, we'll go straight into it. Canelo, is this confirmed? Canelo against Mobili? Is there a date for it yet?
Yeah, I sent it. Let's see. I sent it out. It's on, September 12th.
Let me double check this just so I've got it in the thing quickly. So Canelo will be fighting Christian Mobili for the WBC super middleweight title. For me, this is a fight I'd expect Canelo to win.
Yeah, I mean, Mobili is a very active fighter. He's a very active guy when he fights, and he throws a lot of combinations. I think if there's anything that he could be better at is actually being in better shape and being more active.
Yeah.
But Canelo still, you cannot count him out. I mean, he throws great combinations and powerful combinations.
Even that performance against Crawford would be good enough to beat 90% of that division with his eyes shut. You know, let's be honest about it.
That's great. Yeah. Continue.
I expect Canelo to win this on points. You know, I don't think Mbili's elite level the same as Canelo. He hasn't shown me anything. I mean, obviously, he had that fight with the British guy. I've forgotten his name. The Shiraz, yeah. Got a draw against him. I just think Canelo should retire. Personally, I don't think there's anything for him to prove. You know, he's won everything there is to win.
What is it? He has 2 more fights on his contract with.
I mean, he's already been undisputed twice. What is there for him to do? You know, he's got nothing to prove to nobody, unless he goes up to cruiserweight. But other than that, he's too small. I
seriously doubt he'll fight Benavidez.
Too big. He looks like a small heavyweight. Jeez,
that's not going to work for anybody.
No. He's like, he could beat, you know, probably guys in the top 40 of the heavyweight division. Benavidez is that good, you know. Let's go to our next thing. Garcia against Ben. Is this signed? I don't think it's signed. I've looked, Boxer reckon it's not signed.
It says September 12th. Maybe.
How does this fight work? Because he's signed with Zuffa, and then Oscar De La Hoya's with Garcia.
Well, let's see. Ben. I think his contract ran out actually with.
He had a 1-fight deal, but I believe he signed a couple more fights, from what I was reading a few weeks ago.
It came on. He announced it on a TV show here.
Yeah.
On Jimmy Fallon. So, I mean, it's being reported, but maybe it's not signed. I don't know if they actually.
It's a big payday for Garcia. Garcia won't make any easier money than Conor Benn, will he? Let's be honest. Conor Benn's not an elite welterweight at all by any stretch. You know, we've seen that he couldn't.
Do you think he hits harder than Garcia?
Possibly, yeah. I'd say yeah, but he doesn't have the skills to evade him. I mean, he beat a 38-year-old guy in progress who's well finished, you know, well past his sell by date, and he barely beat him. You know, he didn't look good, did he, in that fight?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But the fact remains is he's got a belt, and Ben, they're going to make money. It's about making money.
It will be the easiest money that Garcia will ever make in his life, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to remember that.
No, it's true, because Conor Benn is not a lightweight. He's too big. He should be fighting at 154. I could see him clearing up 1 or 2 of the belts. But welterweight, he's going to be too weight drained. He looked weight drained in his last fight. When he fought Eubank at 158, he looked perfect. This weight is just too small for him. You know, you can't go fight at 160 for 3 years and then expect to go down to 147, and his punches don't hold up at that weight. 154, he's a monster. 148, he's not.
Yeah. It is a big drop, especially for muscle, to take muscle off when you have that body size. Heavyweights maybe, cruiserweights can go up to heavyweight, but still even they have a hard time.
we've seen it with Roy Jones. He went up to heavyweight. He went back down to light heavyweight. He wasn't the same fighter. He was weight drained. I mean, he weighed 230, 225 for his fight against Ruiz. Came back. You can't do it.
Right.
Once you get to your late 30s. It's, Connor's a good athlete. He's a good athlete, but he's not an elite fighter. People just need to wake up.
Yeah, and now people are actually interested in cruiserweights. Bridgerweights, I don't know if they're getting any.
Oh, that division will never get off the ground. You've got two champions. You never hear of them. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I think he's going to hit harder than Garcia. I think he has more of a swarming style than Garcia has. Sometimes I look at Garcia's footwork and he's off balance and he gets tied up.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, he walks in kind of like this. And if he could if he can get his hook off, he has power in it.
Yeah.
But I think that style-wise, I think Ben is going to give him a hard time.
He will, but I expect Garcia to beat this guy. If he can't beat Conor Ben, he's not going to be a successful champion. We have to be honest about it.
No. And he's ducking Rolly. Rolly wants a shot, but I don't think he's going to take that. I think he's trying to get a rematch with Evan Haney.
Yeah,
that would be.
I look at Garcia. He's money. He's more money than what Conor Ben will ever be. Conor Ben's only there because he's got the name, and he doesn't have the style. He doesn't have the technique. If you look at Garcia's technique, everything about it is sound. Compared to Conor Ben, this is like a big mismatch, in my opinion. If Conor wins, then I take my hat off, but no way. Right, let's move to our next fight. Tim Tszyu has signed to fight Errol Spence Jr. at 154 on the 25th of July. Oh, dearie me, Spence is well finished.
I don't know why. I mean, of course, he's a much better boxer than.
Oh, we know that.
But Tim, even though he's got knocked out twice, I just don't want to see Errol get hurt. You know what I mean?
I think Tim is too fresh. He's 29 years old. Spence is 35, 36. Obviously a prime guy, Spence destroys Garcia in 4 or 5 rounds. We know that.
Yeah. I think the thought of it and everything that Spence has been through, and the brain injury and everything that happened to him, why risk it? I mean, maybe he needs the money, and his team or whoever's with him thinks that this is an easy fight. He's definitely a superior boxer, but he's been out of the ring for what, 4 years?
Yeah,
that's a long time.
It's the same thing as what happened with Fundora and Furman, isn't it? Exactly the same story.
Yeah. So I don't like it, but the guy wants to make money. He wants to.
He's made millions. Tim Tszyu is a top fringe level, world level fighter. He's won his world title. He's achieved all he's ever going to achieve.
Yeah, he's not a superior boxer.
No, he's very poor. He's a poor man's version of his dad, isn't he? And that's me being nice. I mean, Tim's got talent.
Well, we used to talk about this on how his defense was bad, how he got caught.
Oh, it's terrible. But once he fought these guys from the Eastern Europe, he was always going to get found out, wasn't he? From these Central Asian guys,
Yeah, and you're right about it. But his brother's pretty good. His younger brother is pretty good. It's coming along okay.
Yeah, he's very good, his brother. But the fact that Tszyu's won a world title, to me, he's overachieved in his career. And he had perfect matchmaking, didn't he, up to that point,
Yeah, he did. But, Fundora found the way in, and the former 154 champion just beat him badly. Do you remember his name, the Muslim guy? I forgot his name.
Islam something, I don't know. But they all look the bloody same, and they all fight the bloody same. Is Madridov or something, someone like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember what his name is. But I am looking forward to Bivol coming back. But that's another story. I think we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Right, I'm going to go to we'll talk about the card quickly in this. we've got, this is the Rico Van Hoven Usyk undercard. You've got Jack Catterall fighting a guy called Shaq Graham Gaziev from Eastern Europe. I've never seen him fight, but he's 17-0. It's a dangerous fight for him. And then we've got, I expect Catterall will probably lose this. The next, we've got Frank Sanchez against Richard Torres Jr.
Ooh.
That's a real tough fight. It's a real test.
That's a tough test for Torres. That's a step up from what he's been fighting.
To be honest, I'm expecting Sanchez to win that. I just don't think that Torres has the experience. I think this is too early for him, this kind of fight.
Yeah. That's the way he fights, the way he just puts his head down and comes in. He's powerful and he's strong, but he gets hit by much lesser fighters. Sanchez is cute.
Torres is a guy, if you're asking me, he doesn't have enough experience to be he's 40 now. He doesn't have the experience to be in there with Sanchez yet.
You're right.
It's a big risk. So. If it comes off, then he'll have a great future. If it doesn't come off, he goes back to the drawing board. Goes back in. I mean, he's an Olympic silver medalist. He's got all the skills. He's good enough to be a world level fighter. But this is a big risk. I'm surprised they're taking it so early.
Yeah, why Frank Sanchez? I mean, nobody wants to fight him.
You don't. If you're a prospect, you don't fight Frank Sanchez. That's crazy.
No, because he could step in a heavyweight title match at any point and be competitive. And maybe not win, but he could be competitive enough to maybe win.
And then next we've got like a fight. So Jack Catterall's fight is for the WBA title.
Oh yeah, good.
So I expect he should win that really. Then next on the card we've got, which I think is a big mismatch. Hamza Sheeraz is fighting a guy called Alan Begic, who comes from Germany. This is for the vacant WBO super.
What's his record?
29 wins and 1 draw.
That's the opponent?
Yeah. I think Sheeraz is gonna murder this guy.
What's his knockout ratio?
The guy he's fighting's knockout ratio is 79%. But he's fought nobody on the level that Sheeraz has fought.
Yeah.
This is a gimme. I expect Sheeraz, this guy's last fight, who he's fighting was about 6 months ago. He's going to destroy this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can never take anyone for granted, but I think you're right here.
But this is a guy from Germany who's never fought anyone in the top 10. So, and
that's going to be
that ratio is, he's going to put this guy in a coma. Seriously, mate. It's one of them. It's like, an easy world title. This Sheeraz guy is dangerous. He's like the top 2 or 3 super middleweights in the world easily, Wow.
Right. Yeah. So he's the guy who beat he took the championship from the Muslim guy, right?
No, this is a vacant guy, the vacant fight. They're putting Sheeraz in there with a guy.
But I've seen Hamza Sheeraz fight before.
Oh, he's elite. He's elite level.
I know, he's excellent.
I don't expect this fight to last 3 rounds. It's an embarrassing, really, that he's fighting this guy for a vacant. Right, let's move on to there's another fight on here. Sam Somalian's brother, I think, is fighting by the looks of it. Let me double check. Yeah, no, this is a woman. This is a woman. Right, we'll move on. Rico Van Hoven. This gets worse, this guy, don't it? What the fuck is this shit? Britain have got a world title. They might as well just given him the fucking belt. Jesus Christ. Next, we've got a kickbox fight.
Have you seen him fight? Have you ever seen him?
Yeah, and he's not a boxer. I don't care.
No, but he's a great kickboxer.
Yeah.
He's great.
There's a huge fucking difference between a kickboxer.
There's no way.
This gets worse, doesn't it? This gets fucking worse. You've got Rico Van Hoven, who will probably lose, and he'll end up in a coma as well. This is so ridiculous, isn't it? This is for the. Can you believe the WBC are putting this belt on the line? I just fuck off, seriously.
Well, look what happened with Francis Ngannou. Same thing. You know,
It's
he
embarrassing at
dropped
this point.
Tyson Fury, and then he got a rating, or he
Is
did get a
this
rating.
not embarrassing? This is the pyramids. This is a joke. I can't take this fight seriously. Can you? You can't.
Look, Jarrell Miller was a former kickboxer, and
Yeah.
Jarrell, you know, he actually put the work in and became a boxer.
Yeah.
Right. But and you cannot take anything away from Van Oven, because I've seen many of his fights. You know, because I used to do kickboxing, you know, karate sparring, and he's great. But it's a totally different ball game. You know, Conor McGregor tried it against Floyd. He's going to take him to the well. Those fights are three rounds or 5 rounds for the championship.
I'll be surprised if Van Hoven makes it to the 5th. This is embarrassing at this point. You know, seriously. I just can't.
I hope he doesn't, out of reflex, lift one of his legs and kick
He probably
in
will.
the head.
What will happen is Usyk will probably give him the first round. After that, he'll just dominate him and knock him out or get him out of there. If this guy lasts 12 rounds, then I'm going to say that, you know, it's fixed.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. He's great. I mean, he's probably the best champion in his style of fighting that's ever been. And he's not a great knockout artist, but boy, once he gets going, I mean, there's nobody that can beat him, even at his age and after 2 years out with an injury.
No,
but this is a cash grab. Let's call it what it is.
Rico and Van Hoven, if he was a boxer, he wouldn't even be in the top 20. He'd be a top 50 fighter. Let's just be honest about it, you know. Yeah. I'm fucking embarrassed that we're even talking about this, really. It's reached a new low.
The WBC is going to make money. Both of the fighters are going to make money. I mean, look, Jake Paul makes money, right?
Yeah, but at least he can box. You know, Rico Van Hoven, I don't care what anyone says. Jake Paul is a better boxer than him, and from what I've seen of him, you know, this is a joke. Kin joke. Come on. Nick, I'm going to talk about something because I'm just going to go to sleep if I talk anymore about it. Van Hoven will get knocked out in 4 rounds, and then we'll never see him again. And he can fuck off back to doing what he does, his kickboxing. Look, fuck off. Get the fuck out of it. Right. Here, come on, man. Get the fuck out of it. Right. Next, we actually have a proper fight to talk about. Michael, or if you can call it a proper fight, Michael Ife will be fighting Dimitri Bivol for the IBO and IBF titles.
You know, Bivol had 2 mandatories coming up.
Yeah, but then that was Benavidez. But we'll talk about him. He only holds 2 of the belts now, right? The IBF, and I think and that's it. And the WBA Super, and the WBOC belt, not the WBA, the IBF, and the IBF.
Right, and both of those mandatories. I think one was against the English guy. What's his name?
I can't remember his name, but I know who you name. Yeah,
yeah, he's a tough guy. But Bivol, he's been out for a while since his last fight where he won the titles. I think he has a rematch clause to take care of with the former champion.
Yeah.
But, you know, both of those guys are getting long in the tooth. And Bivol, I've been watching his training. He looks good, but he's gained a lot of weight. He's got to come down.
All right, this fight is a joke. Michael Ife has been inactive for 2 years.
Oh, God.
His biggest win was 2023 against John Pascal on points.
Well, you know what? It's perfect for Bivol because Bivol's been out with injuries, and now he's coming back. So it's kind of like a warm-up fight, you know, to get himself back.
Let's talk about the other guy who's a cruiserweight. He has the other 2 belts, the WBA regular and the WBC belt. They should have just all the belts should still be on Bivol, but hey.
Well, you know, he had to take time off, and so they did what they did.
It is a shit fight, though. Let's be honest about it. It's a crap fight. But most of these fights we're talking about, they've got good cards, but the main event suck.
Yeah, well, Bivol probably needs to, you know, to get in shape to do Beterbiev again, and so does Beterbiev, because they do have that, and so that's where the money's going to be, and I think Bivol should. I'm talking about Beterbiev should probably match up with one of that other champion.
Yeah,
and
the rest of the card is guys you've never heard of with funny Russian sounding names. Mm-hmm. So, oh dear.
Peterviev said that Bivol rejected the trilogy offer.
Well, I'm not surprised, because he
for
would
their
have lost
third fight
again.
in Russia, but that was a while ago, so we'll see.
Right, let's go to our next fight. Oh God, this was embarrassing. Dave Allen made $450,000 out of this fight against a welterweight fighter. This was for the WBA International and IBF International, but this might as well have Allen might have just been a stat. He stood there. He comes out weighing 245 pounds, his lowest weight in 3 years. Comes out looking like a stone, throwing punches like this, and Hrgović is just unloading on him. Oh, it was embarrassing. God,
do you think it should have been stopped?
It should have been stopped after the second round.
But I did see him, like his hands were starting to drop and his head was.
Dave Allen is a joke at this point. We've known ever since he lost to Dave Price 9 years ago, the guy's a joke. People are paying this guy £250,000 to fight against guys he shouldn't be in the ring with. At this point, his last good win was 2016 against an old Lucas Brown who was already 41 at the time. To me, this Dave Allen's a joke. We can't have this guy in any more big fights. There's other people. There's people like in the British top 10 that are much better than him. Like, at this point, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah. If he was in shape and he put up, a good fight and then got taken out, it would be different. Yeah. But he does the same thing. He's got the same modus operandi when he fights.
His trainer's a good trainer. The thing is, if he got his act together a decade ago, once he beat Lucas Brown, he could have been a good fighter. Because he's just gone up in weight, gone down, had guys who are complete road sweepers. He should have retired years ago. It's embarrassing at this point. If he gets another big fight, I'm just going to...
he's an opponent now. He's a stepping stone. He's going to be like kind of a test for young guys. If he continues, if he's smart, he probably should stop because he's taking a lot of headshots.
10 years ago, we knew where he was at 10 years ago. And yet these silly people, these fans of his who keep blowing him up to be this saviour, he's crap. Let's be honest, he's a shit boxer. He's always been shit. He wouldn't even win a British title. He's just an embarrassment.
In the UK, you do have a lot of fighters that hang on too long.
This guy is hanging on about 4 years too long, and he's only 33 years of age. At this point, he's embarrassing himself. He's making a lot of money. Thank God he's been paid that money because, he was never going to win a British title. He's never going to do nothing. He's just living on his name now. Johnny Fisher was a novice. Let's be honest, Johnny Fisher can get better. He's still a novice,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. People want to see him fight. He may still fight again.
At this point, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for him. I'm glad he's been paid a lot of money because, God, he don't deserve it. Right, so Hrgović needs a world title shot. He's now ready for a world title shot.
Well, he'll get it. He'll get it, I'm sure, because against
he's ranked high in the IBF.
Just take him apart.
He's ranked high in the IBF. He's like 1 or 2. I don't see. What's his name? I don't see Usyk wanting to give him a title shot. Usyk will vacate the belt, and I can see Hrgović getting a world title through the back door.
It's possible. There's a lot of things in the mix right now after this fight.
Hrgović is better than Wardley. We know that for sure. We know that he's definitely good enough to win a world title. He beats.
I'm going to say something here, though. Even though Wardley lost, which we're going to talk about in a minute, when I watch both of them fight, Wardley is faster and Wardley has more power.
He does, but he doesn't have the skills to beat Hrgović, in my opinion. Hrgović has got a better chin than Daniel Dubois. We know that.
I understand, but I think Wardley can do more damage. Wardley can do a lot of damage if he connects. And that's the thing. And it's hard to get Wardley out of there. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to it. That would be interesting. I would like to see that. But even if he fought Caballal, if he fought F.A. Ajaba, any of those guys would be a good fight. Any of them would be. Even Frank Sanchez would be a good fight. Any of them.
I'd put him just above Sanchez.
Okay. Well, I think he's too slow for the really elite guys. I think anybody with faster hands and power is going to bust them up pretty well.
I mean, let's be honest. Wardley has a great chin. He has good power, but his skills are not up to that standard to be elite level. You know, he got found wanted.
We'll talk about that when we get to Dubois.
Right, let's talk about Brian Norman Jr., who comes back with a 2-round win.
Did you see the fight yet?
No, I haven't seen it, but I saw the highlights.
Okay, well, I did, and I watched it. The guy he fought was tailor-made for him, but he still went in there and did what he was supposed to do and just took the guy out. You know, he just overpowered him. He looks good. He's, Haney was faster and was a better boxer, so of course he beat him. But Brian is still in there. He's going to probably win another title if one becomes available. But I don't think anybody will give him a fight right away. No. Because he's so dangerous when it comes to that. But still, if he trains and handles some of the issues he had, he could become a world champion again.
Yeah, the problem with Norman, he's a bit on the radar, isn't he? You know, he's not like he doesn't really sell the fight too much. He's a good fighter. If he spoke a bit more vocal, you know.
Yeah, but he has I think he had the knockout of the year, if it was last year before he fought Haney.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. He's up there, you know.
I don't think he could beat Haney again if they have a rematch. But Garcia and him would be great. Even him and Ben would be great. Any fighter that's not like just that little 20% more than him, I think he would win, you know. So, but he can't always rely on his power. He's got to get his boxing better. And he's on track to do that if he stays a welterweight.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I don't think he could take Ennis Boots or anybody else.
No, Ennis is now at 154, right?
Yeah, he vacated his 147.
And now he's the WBA interim champion or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to fight Zayas for the belt. For the WBA.
As Alexander Zayas, yeah. He'll kill him. He'll kill him.
Well, I'm with you on that too, but it'll be fun. The thing about Boots is that he does get hit. Even though he's a great boxer, he has a good chin.
He's only 24 years old. He's only going to get better. You know, he can iron it out.
Well, I think now at 24, he's peaking. I mean, when Ali was 24, nobody could touch him. They couldn't touch him when he was 22. 22, 23.
Definitely.
Now we're going to talk some good stuff coming up.
Now we're going to talk about Keyshawn Davis because he won his comeback fight, I believe, at a new weight. He's fighting at 140 now.
Yeah, but he almost didn't make weight. He had to go back 3 times. He's bad with making weight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's why he lost the WBO title at 135. Crazy. He'll probably go up to 147 very soon.
He should. And he's really good. He's an excellent fighter.
He's only had 15
fights.
He's only had 15 fights, Tom. He won a world title in his 13th fight. That's crazy.
Right. He's immature. Let's put it that way. And so, he's got to get his act together. He and his brother look very good.
Who's Keyshawn Davis's brother?
I forget his first name, but he was on the card with him and won as well.
I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, the brothers are actually good. So Keyshawn, I'm a fan, but he's got to get a little bit more mature.
It's just getting the experience, isn't it? You need to go somewhere. It's like with Torres at heavyweight; they're pushing him too quick.
Well, yeah, I don't like it. Sanchez. Why? I don't get him. Why Sanchez? Why?
Isn't he a southpaw?
Yeah,
he's a southpaw. He's dangerous. He's got. But then again, to the body, he's a bit soft when it comes to the body. All right, let's talk about the new WBA super and the new WBO cruiserweight champion in David Benavidez.
You called the knockout, and you were right. I thought it was going to go to a decision, but
Right, at this weight, he looks better than he did at super middleweight. He looks better than he did. Like at super middleweight, we know he was killing himself for years to make the weight. Even at light heavyweight, he was killing himself. And now he's at a weight where he's, 100, 198 pounds or whatever he was, I could see him making the transition to heavyweight quite easily. Seriously, his hands are so quick, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd like to see him and Bivol fight. That would be good.
Too big. He's too big. And I think he would knock Bivol out now. He would kill Bivol now if they fought now. I just think he needs to look at unifying this division. If he can't unify this division, go straight to heavyweight where the money is. And, you know, he seriously, as a one-off, he could have a fight for the world title at heavyweight. That was a one-off. Seriously, he's got the talent to do it. Why not?
Let me, you know, in analyzing the fight, when I saw the fight and looking at the footwork and everything, Zurdo was competitive at first.
He was.
And he was landing. But then when he decided to stand and trade and not move and be right in front of him, that was a big mistake.
Right. The problem with Zurdo is that everyone he's ever fought has always been smaller than him, even though he's lost to some of the elite guys. But like everyone he's fought, he's always been smaller than me. Like, you know.
Well, he's only lost to one light heavyweight, right? Bivol.
Yeah, he did.
And Bivol's an elite fighter.
Yeah, but at light heavyweight, Ramirez didn't look right. At cruiserweight, he's a world-class cruiserweight. But when I look back, I just think Benavidez is now in his prime, right? He's 28 years of age. He's now in his prime. He's banging his prime. I saw him throw a six punch combination, and Ramirez was like, then he threw three, and he's just dazzling. You know, his hand speed. You know, he reminded me of the skinny Andy Ruiz. Scary how quick his hands are. Scary, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I think if they made an adjustment, Zurdo's team made an adjustment, and he was in top shape. In order to beat Benavidez, you got to give him angles, and you can't stand in front of him. You know. I should have put on here. You know, the guy, the former 168 champion that Benavidez beat from Cuba. Remember him? He got knocked out against.
He lost to a British level guy called Zach Chelly.
Yeah,
Zach Chelly was losing the fight. I saw the knockout. So then Chelly started unloading him, and the ref just saves him. There was only 10 seconds of the fight.
That was
so
ridiculous.
even if he'd been knocked down and got up, he still would have won the fight. You know, it's so unlucky. How can an elite guy like that lose to a British level guy? That's crazy. That's madness.
What was his name? The Cuban fighter again?
Morel.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, what are you doing? You know, like he wasn't in shape. He got tired. Is what happened.
Can you lose to a British level guy, and you're a 2-weight world champ? Embarrassing.
He underestimated the power of that guy, and he wasn't in shape. And then he started taking punches. But that guy threw hard.
Yeah, I think Morel will move up to cruiserweight next. There's no way he can fight at that weight anymore, or have a rematch with Zach Chelly.
Wow.
I still think Morel will win a world title again.
Right.
Zach Chelly's had his 5 minutes of fame, you know.
Well, he's going to get better. He's going to get more money his next fight.
I remember when Zach Chelly lost to an Indian guy, an Indian gold medalist. He used to fight in Britain. I've forgotten his name, but he was a super middleweight. You know who I mean?
Yeah.
Cheeky, what was his name?
But I thought it was, those are very dramatic, and the ref saved him just at the right time because his hands came down. He was out on his feet. But he should have trained and not underestimated that guy. Anyway, getting back to Benavidez and Zurdo, I think if they have a rematch, it would be better if Zurdo can actually move.
Yeah.
But the guy that's going to beat Benavidez has to give him angles, and he has to be able to side to side and pivot out and not get trapped. Because once you start trading with him or standing in front of him, he's going to take you apart.
Yeah. That was his name, the guy who beat him or beat a guy that beat him. Indian guy called Vijender Singh.
Uh-huh.
You remember him? This is about 8 years ago, yeah. So he's like British level. Really.
Wow.
I'm shocked. Zach Chelly's British level. He's not world level,
Well, have you been following his fights over there? Because
I don't think he's anything to write home about. He's not. He lost to Cody Davis, and this guy had like 9 9 wins or whatever. This Cody Davis guy is nothing special, you know.
Well, anyway, he beat the former world champion, and now he's on everybody's radar. You know,
embarrassing.
Yeah, but it's good for him. So
yeah, it is. I'm happy for him.
You know, fair play to him because he'll make more money. Good for him.
But to be honest, whenever I've seen Morrow, his fights are boring. You know, he doesn't bring much to the table, really. You know.
Well, yeah, and he didn't have a lot of professional experience. He's mainly a lot of amateur experience, right?
This is such a positive show today. I can't say anything nice about anyone, really, today. Jesus Christ,
Well, you got to say what you feel, you know, and most of the time you're right. I mean, you have a good percentage of calling it the way it is, so keep it up.
So we'll go to the Dubois fight, but I just want to talk about the rest of the card if I can find it. Let me have a look. The rest of the card. Oh, come on, you slow bloody machine. Event. So the event, let's have a double check.
Which card are you looking at? I could pull it up.
So I've got it here. So we're going to talk about the Fabio Wardley card. Mike Perez wins on points against the guy I've never heard of before. That was at heavyweight. Then we talked about the Zachary fight. Then we had the Liam Cameron, no, not Bakadir Jalalov. Had a fight against a journeyman called Agron Smaki, and he looked terrible.
The guy
he fought was good.
Fighting after the first round.
Yeah. So the guy was like a European level guy, and then he just quit. Jalalov needs to decide what he's going to do. He looked terrible. Is he an amateur? Is he, you know, is he a professional? He's only had 16 fights, and he's already 30 years old. You know, he should. I'm looking at his style.
Before we do that, who was the promoter for that card? Was it Frank Warren?
Frank Warren, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if he's in Warren's stable, Warren's going to start having him fight more. You know,
he is in Warren's stable, but Jalalov, he looked terrible in this fight. As good, even though he's got talent and he's a 2-time gold medalist, he looked awful in this fight. I'm thinking you're either going to take professional boxing seriously or go back to the amateurs. You know, make your mind up, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that going for that second gold medal slowed his career down.
I mean, he's already won 2 gold medals, 2020 and 2024.
Right, the second one. I mean, move on.
And he beat. You know, I just think he's at the age where he's 29. He's probably spent too long in the amateurs to make it to the top. You know, that's what I'm starting to assess now.
Yeah, he should have 8 years ago won pro. And now, you know, he probably could still beat Torres, though.
Yeah, of course he could. But it's like, does he want it enough? You know, I'm starting to think if you're only having 2 fights against guys who are European level, you're not that committed, you know. I think he's just happy to show his face, you know.
Yeah, I think he had it easy over in Russia when he was fighting.
Yeah, and he's had it easy his whole pro career. If they start putting him with better opponents, he'll get a world title just based on the back of winning those gold medals, right?
Right.
So they could just say, look, well, let's get him an easy fight to get him high rank, get him a title shot. He can have his money, cash out, and say goodbye. You know, he's not serious about this program.
Yeah, I agree, and we discussed this years ago. Could have been, and then you know, just to like not do anything for all that time was silly.
Right. Let's move to the main event. This was a hell of a fight. We start off the first 10 seconds. Wardley knocks Dubois down. 10 seconds, and then Dubois gets the better of the second round. The third round, he's down again. Then out of nowhere, he comes back. He cuts Wardley on the bridge of his nose, which is already damaged, cuts it open. And Wardley's just a sitting duck for the rest of the fight, but Wardley's still throwing punches. What was alarming in this fight was Wardley was throwing these empty punches that had no technique on them, no purpose. He was throwing arm punches, you know, just hoping to get lucky.
Well, watching the fight, you know, like we said before, Wardley was faster. We talked about that. He was faster and he carries power. He does have defensive deficiencies, but what happened was, let's give credit to Dubois here.
Oh yeah, great.
He got up after 2 knockdowns, and what won him the fight was his jab. He started using his jab, and Dubois has power. So rather than he would go back, and what got him on the first one, he would throw the jab and do this to protect his chin, but Wardley came over high with an overhand right and hit him here.
I'm giving Wardley credit, but I mean, he's a great fighter. He can come again. He could probably pick up another world title, but I think he needs to look at his training team.
Exactly, because he has this will to win. But what happened was he was hurt. They should have stopped the fight 3 rounds earlier and saved the guy the punishment, because all he did was he wasn't being tactical. He was trying to land the same combination over and over. And Dubois knew it was coming. And as he got more and more fatigued, Dubois just picked him apart.
Do you want me to tell you what else has hurt his Wardley's development? That lack of amateur career. That you can see that makes a difference. If you've had that amateur career, it makes even Wilder had a better amateur career. At least he was a bronze medal.
Yeah.
If he'd had that amateur career, I reckon he would have won that fight, because he's lacking those basic amateur stuff that you need at world, at elite level. He's world level, but he's not elite. That's the difference. Where Wardley had that experience from starting. No, not Wardley. Dubois started boxing at 17. He had a bit more amateur career. So for me, that's what's killed Wardley's career a little bit, not having that amateur background. Imagine how much better he would have been if he'd had an amateur career. Jeez.
Well, look, he won a title without it, right?
Yeah, but he won a title that was given to him. He never actually won it in the ring. It was given to him.
Right, I see. Well, the thing is, some fighters, especially out of poorer countries, they have few fights and they turn pro. Like Alvarez turned pro at 15.
Yeah,
so
but he started young. So,
but the difference, you're correct. The difference is, you look at Marciano, who started 24, and he only had 12 fights. But the thing is how much you train and how much are you willing to, sweat you're willing to spill on the canvas.
He doesn't have the technique to be an elite fighter. He just doesn't have the technique. He's got the power, but the technique and skill isn't there. There's a skill gap. That's why he lost his fight, because of the skill gap between him and Dubois.
Yeah.
If he had that extra skill, he would have won the fight. That's why he didn't win.
You look at Dwight Cowie, right? Braxton. He had his amateur career in prison.
There you go. At least he had some amateur. Wardley went from white collar. That I think with him, he should have with the talent he's got. He's lucky he's overachieved. He should have never got to that level, in my opinion.
Yeah, he just reverted. He was a herd animal, and he was just trying to do the same.
But he's only got this far because of that power. If he didn't have that power, there's no way he would. It's
not just power; he had guts too.
He had guts, and he has speed.
And he could take the punishment.
But he doesn't look like he's small for a heavyweight. Any Wardley, he's very small for a heavyweight. Very small.
He had the will to. Go ahead, continue.
If he was a cruiserweight, because he moves like a cruiserweight, doesn't he? That's the difference. He's got more speed than Dubois.
Well, you got to give it up for Daniel. And now he's a champion again. So.
Yeah, but for how long? But for how long?
I
don't. I think Daniel's got his defense is not that much better than Wardley. He's got the difference is he's got that skill. So if he fights anybody in elite fight again, he's going to lose. I don't see Dubois keeping this title for more than 1 or 2 defenses. If I was Dubois' trainer, I would be very careful who I pick in the top 15. For me, Dubois not an elite fighter, is it?
There's a lot of talent moving up, and so I mean, after this, they're both going to be in demand to fight again.
Moses Tuma is the mandatory. Moses Tuma, I don't think he's ready for Dubois yet. Nowhere near ready.
Moses is a great prospect. His
but he hasn't fought
anyone. A little bad, but I think that would be a good fight.
You can't put him in there with Dubois next. No, come on, that's just suicide. He needs another year to develop. He's only 21. Give him another 3 or 4 fights to develop.
So who would you put him in with right now? I'm trying to
Who's
adjust my
Moses
list.
the Tumour? I'd put him in there with like the winner of Frank Sanchez and Torres. I think he beats Torres now.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Moses the Tumu, doesn't he spar with Tyson Fury?
He does, yeah. Or maybe I'd say Luis Ortiz is still about. He's 46. I saw him fight his last
Andy.
Not Andy. No, I'm talking about. Not Andy.
I know what you're talking about. I'm saying Andy would be better.
It's too dangerous. Even though he's past it, I'd put him in there with King Kong. Was it Luis Ortiz?
That's an easy win. That's an easy
win.
But
he's 46 and he has got power. He carries power.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it anymore.
I think what they're going to continue to do, what they're doing, putting him with guys who've got
Miller's the guy in the mix. They could put him in with Jarrell.
Yeah, I think you'd beat Jarrell Miller, yeah. But
Jarrell Miller, that would be a good fight for him.
Really tough. Hopefully that fight would go the distance. I mean, Miller's still a world-class fighter. You know, he's still about that level.
Yeah, he needs somebody to take him to the well.
So Miller would be that perfect opponent, yeah. Or
I don't know if you remember Jerry. I don't know if you remember Jerry Cooney and Larry Holmes. Larry took him to the well and drowned him.
Do you know who I'd put in there? This is a guy. I still think the Tumour would beat him. Wilder, because he's got power. That's the only reason I'd say put him in there with a name like Wilder. Someone who's still got a name. Wilder wouldn't win, but it would boost him up. You know.
He has that equalizer, Wilder, if he catches you.
Yeah. What about Joe Joyce? I know he'd beat Joe Joyce, but that Joyce is more durable than Jermaine Franklin. And he'll take a beating for 10 rounds. You know, it's different. He'd be there after 10 rounds and he'll take a beating. Put him in there with Joe Joyce.
I still like Miller being in the mix of that. I still like, him to be around there. But the guy to really worry about is Ajit Kabiel.
He wouldn't beat him at all. Kabiel's an elite level fighter now. People just don't want to admit it, but he is,
Yeah, they don't want to, but he is, and he keeps winning, so we'll see how he
But does. He doesn't bring any money to the table. That's why he never gets the big fights. That's why Usyk doesn't want to fight him. It's like, why would I want to fight this German guy who's really good, has no name,
I don't think Usyk ducks anybody, but, I think he's making strategic decisions.
I mean, if you were Usyk, would you want to waste a fight on Kabiel, a guy who's dangerous like that? I wouldn't want to.
No.
What about Zhilei Zhang for
Zhilei Zhang's only good for like 5 rounds.
But he would give if he caught a Tumour, he'd knock him out. For me, that would be the best fight, him or Joe Joyce next, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, those are guys that are on the decline.
Joe Joyce can hurt him. Joyce can hurt him, but it's a name, and it's a world level name, Right, we're going to wrap up now. Thank you for watching the show, kids. How long have you got?